It is the eve of the 77th AT&T Cotton Bowl, and I am standing outside of the Peacock Terrace here at the Hilton Anatole. It is Texas A&M's headquarters for the week. The Aggies and the Sooners set to kick off tomorrow night. But before they do that, right here in this room behind me, over 250 former Texas A&M football players back in town to support their Aggies and to catch up on old times. The Aggie Lettermen's Association put a wonderful event together, and we sent Will Johnson in to catch up with some living legends of Texas A&M football.
Texas A&M has gathered some of its former players here at the Anatole on the eve of the Cotton Bowl. Some of them know this game very well. I'm with one right now, Ed Hargett. He was a victor as the Aggies quarterback in the 1968 game over Alabama, the Crimson Tide and Bear Bryant. Many people remember that game. But when you start to think back to January 1 of 1968, what pops into your head first?
Well, it was pretty cold. At least my wife tells me that. She says they had to chip the ice off the seats to sit down. But playing, it was great. It's probably in the low 30s, so it was great to play. The old Cotton Bowl Stadium had been beat up and eat up, so it was kind of muddy and sloppy. But just remember, it was like going out for a scrimmage because we were playing Coach Bryant. Same offense, same defense, so there wasn't a lot to study and learn about them. But it was a lot of fun, and just getting rewarded for winning the conference that year was the great thing.
Yeah, and you guys were underdogs against Alabama, but that was nothing new because of the difficult start to the season. I mean, you guys were a comeback story all year long.
Well, we were. We started out 0-4, lost 4 pretty close ball games. I think LSU was the only one that really beat us. The others were very close, but happened to beat Texas Tech the last play of the game and ran the table and got to go to the Cotton Bowl.
And your thoughts on being an Aggie and our tradition in this game, as tomorrow night will be the 13th time we play in the Cotton Bowl.
Well, it is. It's been a lot of fun. Most of the time, that meant you won the conference championship. Now, the last 3 or 4 don't mean that, but still, it's a prestigious bowl, and you get a chance to go, and everybody gets to see you on TV all over the country, so maybe we can show our stuff off again.
How do you feel about the matchup against Oklahoma? The Aggies number 9, the Sooners number 11.
It should be one of the good ball games. I don't see why. I hope our defense is ready to play as they've been all year. I know our offense will be, so I think it'll be an excellent ball game.
All right, we appreciate the time. Happy New Year, and go enjoy your time with some of these former players.
All right, thanks, Will. Appreciate it.
Any Aggie knows the Cotton Bowl and success in the game. It is Chet Brooks. He coined the phrase the wrecking crew during his time at Texas A&M. He played in 3 straight Cotton Bowls from 1985 to 1987. 2 of those victories, I'm talking about those seasons, the Cotton Bowls you played in were on January 1st, and your opening one was against the Auburn Tigers and Bo Jackson, New Year's Day, 1986. I'm guessing you haven't forgotten at all about that one.
No, not at all. I mean, that first one was probably the sweetest one of all of them. And playing against the Heisman Trophy winner, especially one the caliber of Bo Jackson, was tremendous challenge for our defense, but we stood up to it.
And then the next one, you had a difficult situation the next year. Ohio State beat you guys, and I think the offense had a little bit of a turnover problem that day, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, uncharacteristically, Murray, had some interceptions that game. Probably not all his fault, but our offense didn't play the way we normally play, and defense, we can't keep them out forever. It's just one of those games.
But you came right back to it the next year. I mean, that's the beauty. You got to 3 straight Cotton Bowls, and then you beat Notre Dame and another Heisman winner, Tim Brown.
Yeah, and and me and Tim are good friends. We've known each other for a long time. He's from Woodrow Wilson here in Dallas, and I'm from Carter High School, and so we've known of each other for a long time. And to be out there and the guys playing against him, I was hurt that game, but still an exciting game.
And then tell me about this perspective, because you've seen it here. Twice in this game, you faced a Heisman winner. That's what Oklahoma is going to do. Are the Sooners a little bit amped up, knowing that the quarterback on this team holds that prestigious trophy?
That Heisman Trophy always brings a little bit more fire to the game, and I assume Oklahoma is probably going to be ready. They're going to be pumped and ready to try to stop Johnny Football, but, that guy's incredible, man. I'm looking forward to this one.
And obviously, you love games at Kyle Field, but is the next best thing, now that you're a former player, watching the Aggies in this game, in this venue, the AT&T Cotton Bowl?
Yes, it is. I mean, to see them guys back again and playing at a high level, especially the first year in the SEC, it's beautiful. I love it.
We thank you for the time and enjoy the game.
Thank you so much. Go Aggies.
I'm with Bucky Richardson, who played in this game twice, New Year's Day 88 and New Year's Day 92.
That's right.
You quarterback the last Aggie team to win in the Cotton Bowl. That's a streak that needs to change tomorrow night, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and it's hard to believe that that's the case. But you know, it's one of those deals where the team that prepares the best and who's ready to play usually wins. And there's always good teams in bowl games. So the team you play is capable of beating you. So you got to be at your best. And I'm confident our team will be ready to play tomorrow.
And the last time I talked to you, asked about Johnny, how he might finish in the Heisman, because until that point, you were the last A&M player to finish in the top 10 of the Heisman voting. Yeah, you said you were biased, but you thought he should win it. Well, it's come true, and Johnny has won it. Where were you when you saw it? What was your reaction to Johnny claiming it?
I'm kind of, I'm always going to be for the guy who deserves it. And whether he's an A&M guy or not, I just think it's an award that can't ever be compromised. And I'm glad that the Heisman Trust saw that Johnny was the best player, because I think we all did. And coming from somebody like me, it probably sounds biased. But he deserved to win it. He had an incredible year. And I just could not be happier for him. And he's a good guy, a great player, competitor, and he'll represent us well.
What about, take me into the mind of a player on the night before a big game like this? A&M and the Cotton Bowl's become a pretty good tradition. This is a meaningful event to a lot of Aggies. That player that's lying in bed the night before this one, I mean, is there a little anxiety, a little bit of readiness to get this thing going?
Yeah, because typically you got a week to think about things and prepare for things. And in the case like this, you've got a month or over a month. And you just, it's at some point as a player, it's time to play. And you want to get on the field and get it done and get after it. And that's how the players feel. They're tired of the banquets. They're tired of the dinners and the lunches and the practices. They want to play. They want to compete, and it'll be a great environment. And as a player, that's what you live for: being in that environment, being in that moment, and so that's what they're excited about.
Last thing for you, regardless of a win or loss tomorrow night, after what we saw this season, the first year in the SEC, what do you think's possible with Kevin Sumlin in this program as we move forward?
Well, I think it's the sky's the limit, and Coach Sumlin's a great fit. He's a competitor. During the season, he's got a chip on his shoulder, and it's what can we do today to get better kind of guy. And with that, there's a magnetism to him that kids want to play for somebody like Kevin. And he's got both of those intangibles that are powerful. And he understands kids. He understands what the details of running a program are and should be. And he's just a class act. He's got a great wife and a great family, and he's passionate. And when you're passionate, I tell my kids, I don't care what you end up doing, just be passionate about it. And Kevin's passionate about being a head football coach, and the results will bear that out, and they have bared that out at his stops at U of H and 1 year here already. And he's just a great guy and a great football coach.
We appreciate the time. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
We are now with Ray Mickens, a three-time Cotton Bowler, and he has hosted this event here at the Anatole for former players that want to gather on the eve of the game between Texas A&M and Oklahoma. And 3 Cotton Bowls, and this was during a time in the early 90s where the Cotton Bowl meant just about everything, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, man. That was the pinnacle of the season. If you have an undefeated season or you won the Southwest Conference, this was the place you came, and that's what we look forward to doing, was coming here and playing every year, whether it be for the national title or just for bragging rights.
And I can always, and I think a lot of Aggies can, remember a defensive backfield that had you on one side and Aaron Glenn on the other. And then if you want to go and combine years of service in the NFL by you two, That's plenty right there. I mean, do you feel you and Aaron kind of set a standard in the defensive backfield at this school?
Well, we weren't too bad when we were here. I think that we played the game with a passion, and I think we learned from the guys like Kevin Smith and Mickey Washington and the guys before us. And I think we felt it was up to us to keep that tradition going. So yeah, we had a sense of commitment to that tradition that they laid before us, and that was our only thing, was to go out there and try to win the game on defense.
And then that NFL career, I believe it was the Jets you spent most of it with. Am I correct there? And do you always feel when you head to an NFL camp that there's still always that Aggie label on you, that you want to represent the university and the program with class and with play as well? Oh,
there's no question that the best times that I had was playing in a maroon uniform. I played 11 years in the NFL, but the 4 years that I played at A&M, I have way more memories, and I have a lot more relationships and friendships from the 4 years that I had at A&M than 11 years in the NFL, and I spent 9 years with one team. So you're representing your college, you're representing your school. And for a minute there, me and Aaron Glenn started together, at the Jets, and that was like something that we really took a lot of pride in. And them calling our name out and our school out before every game, when we ran on the field, it just felt really good. So,
do you ever look back at your own story and kind of marvel a little bit? El Paso's not the biggest hotbed for recruiting, where you came from, and then you turned it into an All-American career, over a decade in the NFL. Do you kind of look back at those days in El Paso, and maybe were you wondering, will I make it to the next level?
Yeah, I think I did okay, man. I thought that, coming from El Paso, I didn't know what to expect. But I know I did have a lot of people telling me that I couldn't do it. And I think that kind of gave me fuel, and it kind of got me going. So I never really had any homesickness being away from home. I never really had any type of situations where I was dealing with, could I do it or couldn't I do it, because I always had a chip on my shoulder. And actually that helped me out more than anything in the world, to have that chip on my shoulder. Coming from a small town, being from, being 5'8", and not 6'1", nothing was given to me. So at the end of the day, I believe it made me who I am. And you know what? If I can go back and change something, it'd probably be 3 or 4 more inches in height. Nah, just playing. Nah, I wouldn't change anything.
Well, you said you think you did okay. You did a heck of a lot better than that. You're in the Aggie Hall of Fame. Thanks for your service to A&M and hosting this event tonight. Enjoy the Cotton Bowl tomorrow.
You know what, this event, man, having all of these guys back here, all of these alumni and all of these players, I think that we all are here because we chose to come to this school. And I think that as we grow older, we appreciate that more. I know I do, personally. I'm going to die an Aggie, and all of these are going to be my brothers and sisters, until I die and then after I die. So this is something that's really special for us and for me, to be around all these guys, if it's only one time a year, because we're all busy now. Right. I'm getting gray hair, so, I don't know how many more years. But, no, I really enjoy it, man, and it's good to be back in the Cotton Bowl.
Appreciate the time, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Ray Mickens here on 12th Man TV from the Anatole on the eve of the Cotton Bowl.